Hi students, hope you all fine. So today I'm going to teach you about bivariate data. So this is related to semester 3 statistics students. Okay, so bivariate data in the sense nothing but bi in the sense what two variables. Okay, bivariate data refers to data that involves two different variables. Okay, remember that bi in the sense two. So whenever we are dealing with two variables, it comes under bivariate. Okay, this type of data is collected to determine the relationship or correlation. We call relationship or correlation. Co in the sense nothing but it is also two variables. Okay, so dealing with two variables in order to find out the relationship, okay, or correlation between the two variables. For example, you might want to study the relationship between hours of study and exam score among students, or also another example you can take. Okay, so number of what we can say, number of questions we practice, the more marks we get. Okay, so number of sleeping hours increases what our health condition. Okay, so like that you can take any example. Okay, so but it should be only two variables. Let us see one example. So bivariate data in the sense, now you got one idea, no? So bivariate in the sense nothing but dealing with the two variables. So this data is used to find out the relationship between two variables. It is also called as correlation. So next we are going to discuss about the example. See here, consider a study examining the relationship between the number of hours spent studying. Okay, number of hours the students spent in studying, that is denoted with the variable x, and in the same way exam score. See, if we study more number of hours, we get good score, no? So that is the example here we took. So here the student's name is ABCD, and here number of hours and exam score. See, if you study 2 hours, you can't able to get 100 marks. So in rare, you may think that madam, I will study just only 1 hour, I can score 100 marks. You may tell like that, but in rare conditions that happens, but normally not in the case of all students. Okay, so that is the matter. So 4 hours means the score will increase, 6 hours means somewhat, 8 hours means 95, so 10 hours means 98. So that means what, depending on the study hours the score will be increasing. Okay, so scatter diagram. So next topic is scatter diagram. So bivariate in the sense I think you all understand. So next is scatter diagram. So scatter diagram means nothing but scatter plot. We can say scatter plot, or else a scatter diagram is also called as um, nothing but dotogram or histogram, like that. It has many names. Okay, so a scatter diagram is a graphical representation. Okay, what it is? It is a graphical representation of bivariate data. So whenever we want bivariate data to plot, so it is nothing but scatter diagram. Okay, why? Because in scatter diagram it takes only two variables, one is x-axis and the other is y-axis. Okay, so scatter diagram is used only for two variables. So two variables in the sense what we call two variables bivariate. Okay, so each point on the scatter diagram represent an observation from the data set. Yes, no? So each point represent what? Nothing but it is a observation. For example, here if you want to draw hours, so here this 2 is a observation from this data set. This 2 is a observation. Okay, with one variable plotted on x-axis, and next what, another variable is plotted on what, y-axis. Okay, another variable is plotted on y-axis. See here, x-axis is a independent variable here. X-axis variables are independent. Why? Because if you read 2 hours, it depends on you. You may take 2 hours, 4 hours, but depending on this, it will increase. So that's why exam score is a dependent variable, and here number of hours study is a independent variable. So scatter diagram is nothing but it relationship between two observation. So one is definitely the independent variable and the other is dependent variable. Okay, yes. So next is creating a scatter diagram. That means how to draw a scatter diagram. So first plot the points. So what we have to do, we have to plot the points. Plot each pair of values on a graph. Each pair of values in the sense what? For example, 2 and 16 is called a pair here. 265 is a pair. Okay, yeah. Next, label axis. Label the x-axis with the independent variable. As I told you that the x-axis variables are independent variables. That means in this example, number of hours a student study, and the y-axis with the dependent. So y-axis variables are called as what? Dependent variable. That is nothing but exam score. So that is the label axis. So that means we have to indicate what is x-axis, what is y-axis. Okay, next. Analyze the pattern. So that means what? How the diagram looks like, how the points are looks like. So that one we have to analyze after drawing. Okay, after plotting the points. Observe the pattern found by the points to infer the relationship between the variables. Why we have to analyze the pattern means in order to describe what is the relation between the two variables, we have to tell. Okay, so for example, see here, depending on the above example, that means depending on this example, so the diagram will be like this. That means it will form what? Straight line. So if the diagram is in the form of straight line, if the points are plotted in straight line, so that is called as what? Positive correlation. Okay, so it is a positive correlation. So like that we have to draw the scatter diagram. So next is nothing but advantages we are going to learn. So advantages. So the first advantages is visualizing of data relationship. Yes, no, we can visual. That means we can see how the variables are related. Yes, no. So that is the first advantage. Next, detection of correlation. Detection of correlation means we can able to identify whether it is positive, negative, or no correlation. Like that we can detect. Okay, next, identification of outliners. So identification of outliner in the sense what? We can observe the variables whether they are in the data set or not. Okay, next, simplicity. Simplicity in the sense nothing but it is easy to draw and easy to understand. No? So that's why it is called as what? Simplicity. So next is disadvantages of scatter diagram. So limited to two variables. Why? Yes, no, it is only limited to two variables. If three variables are there, if x, y, z, z also is there, how can we draw this scatter diagram? So that is the disadvantage. It is only used for 2D graph, not 3D graph. Okay, so does not show causality. So does not show causality. Next is subjectivity in interpretation. Subjectivity in interpretation in the sense what? It is nothing but we can how the variables are related. We can able to say sometimes we can't able to say. Next is scale sensitivity. Scale sensitivity in the sense what? Definitely we have to take x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so that is called as scale sensitivity. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of what? Scatter diagram. Okay, next is types of scatter diagram. So we have different types of scatter diagram. So one is positive correlation, negative correlation, next no correlation, perfectly positive correlation, and perfectly negative correlation. See, first we'll see what is positive correlation. In a scatter diagram, showing a positive correlation as one variable increases, the other variable also increases. See, here if one variable increases, if the graph represents like this, that means one variable increases, the other variable also will increase. As we see in this example, if you spend 2 hours of studying, you get more marks, and 4 hours means the marks will increase. That means what? One variable increases, the other variable also automatically increases. So that is called as what? positive correlation, and the graph will be upward. Okay, the graph will be upward from left to right. Okay, from left to bottom to right top. Okay, so that is called as positive correlation. Next, negative correlation. So in a scatter diagram showing a negative correlation, as one variable increases, the other variable decreases. What happens here? If one variable increases, the other variable what? Decreases. Nothing but pressure and volume, we can say opposite. One variable increases, the other will be decreasing. So see here, downwards. Okay, left to right. That means what? Left to top to right bottom. If the graph is from left to top to right bottom, that means downwards. That is called as what? Negative correlation. Next, no correlation in the sense, see, if you observe the graph, there is no relation between the variables. How we can't say whether it is positive or negative, whether upward, downward, we can't say. So they are in some zigzag manner like that. Okay, so that is called as no correlation. In a scatter diagram showing no correlation, there is no pattern or trend. Trend in the sense what? Nothing but it's a straight line between the two variables. Okay, so if the graph is represented like this, we can say that there is no correlation. Next, perfect positive correlation. Perfect positive correlation means a scatter diagram showing a perfect positive correlation will have all points lying exactly on a straight line that slopes upward. So that means what? Exactly all the variables should be in straight line. So if you observe the positive and perfectly positive here, these points can be from left to right, and there no need to be in a straight line, but there should be from left to right, and that to upward manner. That means increasing manner it should be. No need of having the straight line. But here, if you take this perfectly positive correlation, the observation should be follow in a straight line. Exactly, they have to be in straight line. No up and down should be. So that is called as what? Perfect positive. So mathematically it is represented like y equals to 2x. See, if you take here x value 1, 1, then y value what? 2. If you take x value 2, y value 4. That means what? In a specific class, in a specific units, it is increasing. As now, if you take 1, it is increasing by 2. If you take 2, it is increasing by 4. So that means what? Specific unit it is following. So that is called as what? Perfectly positive correlation. Okay, the space is perfect between the variables, between the observations, we can say. So the graph will be like this. Okay, straight line. Perfect ratio it should maintain. Perfect distance. Okay, yeah. That means the variable is increasing with 1 unit, we can say. Perfect negative correlation. A scatter diagram showing a perfect negative correlation will have all points lying exactly on a straight line that slopes downward. Exactly on a straight line, but downwards, towards downwards. So y equals to minus 2x. That means this is a inverse. Inverse of what? Positive. So if you take x value 1, y value will be minus 2. If you take x value 2, y value will be minus 4. That means what? It is increasing step by step. Okay, so in a what? Correct ratio, that is called as what? Perfectly negative correlation. Okay, it is the inverse of positive correlation, perfectly positive correlation. Next, no linear correlation. So linear in the sense nothing but straight line. Non-linear correlation in the sense what? It is not in a straight line, it will be in a curvilinear. That means up and downs. The graph will be what? Up and downs. In a scatter diagram showing a non-linear correlation, the points form a curve rather than a straight line. That means what? It won't form straight line, but it will form what? Curve. That means what? Up and down. Okay, zigzag manner like this. The graph will be like up and down. Okay, so that is called as what? Non-linear correlation. Okay, so this is about what? Bivariate and scatter diagram. So this scatter diagram is important for short answers. So definitely they will ask for your final semester exam. Scatter diagram is very important question. Hope you all understand. So please comment which type of videos you want on which topic. Okay, so thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.